friends, and welcome to Facetime. This is Coach Nick here for another great episode of our brand new show that we have for you, which we come to you from our Facebook page for Sports Zone 101. I want to just say thank you to those of you that have interacted with us and commented and joined the episodes that we have been providing for you these past few days. In case you haven't been with us this week, on Monday we covered the topic of baseball. To reiterate our theme this week, we are talking about sports and games. So we are discussing some activities ranging from baseball to football, as we talked about yesterday. We're going to be talking about hockey on tomorrow's show, and some other fun games too. But today is dedicated to basketball. I know many of you play this game, love it. I know some don't particularly love basketball because it is difficult. Okay, all these different activities that you do can be hard and they can be challenging. One of the challenging things to do, I'll even say it for myself, is to shoot this basketball, typically into a basketball hoop, to get points. It's also sometimes difficult to dribble a basketball, much like I'm doing here right now. Those are things that take time, they take skill, and they take practice on improving and getting better upon. On today's program, we will be talking about basketball, like I said, a little history about when the game started, who founded it, all those different really exciting things and of topic to discuss. And we will also cover the Boston Celtics. I know many of you, especially here in the New England area, are big fans of the Boston Celtics and miss the Celtics as they were having a pretty good season too. So we'll talk about some top players. We'll talk about some top moments. But we'll also look back on the Celtics, and I don't think that a lot of you realize that the Celtics have won 17 championships in their history. That's just, it's incredible. It's the most championships that have been won from any kind of sports organization. We don't think about that often because a lot of those championships happened back in the late 1950s and into the 60s. So our current generation, which are all of you younger folks that participate in some of our programs, you really haven't seen a championship from the Celtics. I was lucky enough to see a championship in 2008. That's the only one that I have seen since I've been living here on planet Earth. But that was a very fun experience to see a basketball team as the Celtics get a chance to win. We will talk about all those things today, and I will also give you some basic instructions on some activities that you can do at home playing basketball. So I hope that you get a chance to do some of these activities while we're social distancing and staying home. The first thing that I would like to do is just to show you a brief video here on how to play basketball. It's a beginner's step or beginner's guide on how you get a chance to do that. I think it's going to be helpful for those of you that need a little extra skill or a little extra practice to get involved and into the game. So we're going to take a look at that right now.
These are the best basketball players in the world, but they all started out just like you. They had a love for the game and wanted to play any chance they got.
Curry puts up a three. Knocks it down.
The first thing any player needs to understand is how the game is played.
Let's play, man. Let's play. Let's play.
Official games are played with 5 players on one team going against 5 from another team.
And we're just about set for tip.
Every game starts with the tip-off.
Everybody's all fired up for what could be this memorable night. And we are underway.
Basketball is a game of movement.
Great ball movement. He gave up the shot, and it goes for a 3-ball in the corner.
Players run from end to end.
The two-handed sledgehammer.
They dribble the basketball. They pass to each other.
Oh, you're kidding me!
The team with the ball is on offense. They try to score points by shooting the basketball through the hoop.
Green on Paul.
The team without the ball is on defense. They try to stop the other team from scoring.
He got it! Unbelievable!
points can be scored in many different ways.
He'll be driving, and he'll get to the line and put it in. What a shot!
Not every bucket is worth the same number of points. Any shot inside the arc is worth 2 points. A long shot from outside the arc or three-point line is worth 3 points.
Curry for three. Bang!
If a player is fouled, he goes to the free throw line. Free throws are worth 1 point. Teammates must communicate with each other to achieve their goals.
Hal, got your help. I got a shooter behind me. JR, go. Bump down, JR, go.
Effort and great attitude are keys to success.
Live, and it goes into the crowd. And some folks in the third row just got a personal visit from Cody Zeller.
The game is played until the final buzzer.
Rose trying to get open, fires away. Bang! It's over! The Bulls win at the buzzer!
The team with the most points at the end of the game wins.
Oh my goodness!
That was absolutely spectacular.
Fun and easy to learn, basketball is a great game.
Come on, baby! Let's go!
What I really liked about that video is it talked about the importance of being a good communicator. So that is being on the same page with your teammates out on the floor. Basketball is such a team game where it really does involve all your teammates there out on the floor. So you need to be able to pass the ball effectively. You need to be able to put certain players in certain positions that can get that ball into the basketball hoop as great or as effectively as you can. Another great thing that I really liked about it is the whole mentality of having a great attitude and really working hard. Those are things that you need to do in all of the different things that you do in life. Having a positive attitude, having a great way of playing with your teammates are truly, in my opinion, are really important ways of winning a championship or being successful on the court. I'm sure many of you have probably wondered when basketball first came about. When was the first game? Who was the person that might have been responsible for starting the game of basketball? So you have to go back to 1891, and it was from a man named James Naismith, who was from Springfield, Massachusetts, that was the founding father of present day what we call basketball. How about that? Springfield, Massachusetts. Have any of you got a chance to go to Springfield, Massachusetts? I can think of one particular thing that's important about Springfield, Massachusetts, and you might have visited this place at some point in your lifetime. That is the Basketball Hall of Fame. The Basketball Hall of Fame is located there, and that is where basketball was started. So if you have got a chance to go to the Basketball Hall of Fame, shoot us a comment. Shoot me a comment right here on our Facebook page. So that way we can know who's been, maybe who hasn't. I personally have not been to the Basketball Hall of Fame. I've been to the baseball one, and I've been to the Hockey Hall of Fame. And I love both of those quite a bit. But I've really always wanted to get a chance to go to the Basketball Hall of Fame. So 1891, James Naismith was the founding father of basketball. And believe it or not, another really, really fun little tidbit that I was able to learn about basketball is that the YMCA was a big organization behind the start of basketball. So that's what James Naismith was counseling and coaching and everything with some of his activities, and that's where it all began, was because of the YMCA. Now, for the NBA has been an organization for many, many years. That started in 1946, and that was in New York City, where the establishment of the NBA was put together. There are 8 original teams. Does anybody out there want to give a guess on any one of those 8 teams? I can give you one hint, though. It could be right down the street in Boston. Could that be one of the original 8? Well, I'll give you that one. I'll be nice. Yes, the Boston Celtics are one of those teams. Can you think of any others? If you did think of any others, again, comment right here on our feed, on our comment section, and you can get a chance to think about all those different teams that could have been involved. I am going to list them. Now, all of these teams, some of these names have changed over the years, but I'm going to read to you the other 7 outside of the Boston Celtics. So we have the New York Knicks. We have the Philadelphia Warriors, which is now the Philadelphia 76ers. We have the Minneapolis Lakers, which is now the LA Lakers. We have the Rochester Royals, the Fort Wayne Pistons, which is now the Detroit Pistons, Tri-City Blackhawks, and the Syracuse Nationals. So those are your 8 original teams right there. The NBA has obviously adapted over the years. The Celtics are one of the main teams that I feel deserved a lot of attention on this episode for our basketball show. So the Celtics were founded in 1946. So again, long time ago. Where do the Celtics play? Some of you may have been to this place from before. If you know what the place is, comment right here. What's neat about the Celtics is they share an arena with the Boston Bruins. That is the TD Bank Garden. That's where they play. Over the years, we had way back in the day, it used to be the Boston Garden, and then it became the TD Garden after renovations were made and the new stadium and everything was built. How many championships do the Celtics have? I talked about it earlier on our brief introduction here for our basketball show. It is 17. The Celtics are still in search of their 18th championship, which they were on a very good path to of this 2019-2020 season before this whole virus and everything kicked in. I really like the Celtics team right now. I'm very happy and I'm very optimistic about their chances at a potential NBA championship because they have something that they were lacking in the past couple of years, and that's team chemistry. We brought in players like a Kemba Walker, and he has just been somebody that's been a breath of fresh air to watch because he gets all of his teammates involved. You can all tell that they really like to play with one another, and that's something that truly does help to build a championship team. So like I said, 17 championships the Celtics have. It all started back, though, in the 1950s, and a couple of influential people were behind why the Celtics were so successful. It started in 1957, okay, and that was when legendary coach Red Auerbach started that dominant era. The first Celtics championship started in 1957, so that was the first championship they won. They won a championship in the NBA from 1959 through 1966, every single year. They won in 58, they won in 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, and 66. That is 8 championships, all consecutively. I personally don't think we'll ever see anything like that again in professional sports. That is truly insane, the amount that they won from there. 1967, they did not win their championship. But in 1968 and 69, they came right back and won their next 2. In the 70s, they won in 1974 and 1976. 1981, that's when we're starting to get into another important player whose name is Larry Bird, the Larry Bird era. The Larry Bird era, for him, they won in 1981, 1984, and then 1986. The last championship that the Celtics won was 2008. That was your Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen era. I want to go back to the 1950s and into the 60s, though, because not just Red Auerbach as the coach was an important person there. The Celtics' big player at the time was Bill Russell. And if you get a chance to go to the Garden, there is a statue of Bill Russell right outside there. And Bill Russell is one of the greatest NBA players that ever played. Okay? That's a very important person in the Celtics' history on winning on all their championships. There were some other important players that were there too. Bob Cousy was a part of that team, and Tommy Heinsohn. Tommy Heinsohn is one of the broadcasters for the Celtics now, and truly one of the greatest players that have ever played on the Celtics. Great moments from everything there. In 1974 through 76, that era had some players. Most notably, John Havlicek was somebody that was very important with the dominance that the Celtics had in about the mid-70s too. So all those important players and all those important figures right there all helped in these different eras to get the Celtics to these great championships over the years. The Celtics have had many, many great moments in their history, but I think it's important that we take a look at some of the greatest moments that have happened in their history right now. So I have a couple videos here that we'll get a chance to see. I am going to give you the link so you can get a chance at home to watch these on your own time, at least all of them. I am going to show you 2 or 3. I haven't decided yet on how many I'm going to do, but we're going to start with the first one, and that is from John Havlicek stealing the ball. So we're going to take a look at that right now.
5 seconds left. Boston only has a 1-point lead.
Greer's putting the ball on a play. He gets it out deep, and
Havlicek steals it. Over the stand throws. Havlicek stole the ball. It's all over. It's all over. Johnny Havlicek is being mobbed by the fans. Bill Russell wants to grab Havlicek. He hugs him. He squeezes John Havlicek. The Celtics win it. 110 to 109.
So right there, that was the number 1 greatest moment. That was John Havlicek stealing the ball. John Havlicek stealing the ball helped the Celtics win one of their championships. We're going to look at the number 2 right here. This is another steal. This time it was Larry Bird. Okay, and Larry Bird was able to get the steal and then get the victory in this game. Let's take a look at that next.
Boston down 1.
Bird guarded by Mahorn. Drives around him. And the ball gets knocked out of bounds by 8. Oh, they call it the other way.
It's a 3-ball with 5 seconds to go. Thomas wants to get it in quickly.
And now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ. Lays it in. Right at 1 second left. What a play by Bird. Bird stole the inbounding pass. Laid it up to DJ. DJ laid it up and in. And Boston has a 1-point lead with 1 second left. Oh my, it's like it's going crazy.
And again, right there, you saw an unbelievable steal. The Celtics right there looked like the game was over. And Larry Bird came out of nowhere, passed that basketball right to Dennis Johnson, and got the game-winning victory right there. Truly one of the most remarkable plays that have ever been in Celtics history. We're going to show you one more, okay? And this is from 1976. This was a triple overtime win versus the Phoenix Suns. Let's take a look at number 3.
now the series moved back to Boston for Game 5. Once again, the season ticket holders have the choice vantage seat. Even before the crowd got settled, the Celtics were on their way. Westfall brought it back down to 2. But JoJo White's unerring eye from 21 feet pulled them 4 ahead. And McDonald at the free throw line put them up by 6. Solber's got the margin down to 126 to 122. After 2 hard free throws, Westfall cut the margin once again to 4 points with just 25 seconds left. The Celts were ahead 128 to 124. Westfall came again and brought the lead down to 2. Phoenix put the pressure on, but the Boston Boys would not break. JoJo White, who played all but 2 minutes of the game, retained control of the ball, and for 12 seconds, the Suns could not touch it. The game that started on June 4th, a Friday night, ended on Saturday morning. The Celtics had won the longest, most dramatic, most frenzied game in NBA history.
What I like watching about, or what I like seeing and watching from these older clips, is that you can totally tell it was a different era. Now we're in HD mode and we can see things clear as day. That's what you saw back in the 70s, 80s. even some portions of the 90s. It was not as clear depth as we get right now. But again, a triple overtime win right there. That was from 1976, and that was number 3 on the top moments in Celtics history right there. Current moments, for me, I look more from the 2008 era into the present day now mode. And one of those things that I always think about from the 2008 championship ride is how the Celtics won their 2008 championship against the Lakers by, I think it was about 20 or 30 points, and getting that 17th banner right there in 2008. That was amazing to get against the Lakers because there's a rivalry right there. That's been one of the greatest rivalries in sports for a long, long time. So again, you can take a look at all of these other top moments that the Celtics have had in their history. I'm going to show you that page one more time. I'm going to show you the link. But it shows you everything from John Havlicek stealing the ball, like we've watched, Larry Bird, the greatest game ever, which they say was that triple overtime versus the Suns. But we have a 21-point comeback game, a Ray Allen setting a record. The link will be provided right here, so you can take a look at all those videos too and see if you actually agree. Is number 1 really number 1? 2 and 3? Are they really 2 and 3? That you can be the judge of that on your own time. Right now, I would like us to take a look at the top Celtics players in their history. So right here is a video, and I am spoiling a little bit. I'm going to show you the top 6. I am also going to give you, I'm going to have my voice come over through some of the videos so we can talk about it. But I'm going to tell you exactly who the name is. There is a banner right here on the video, so it might block their name. I just want to make sure that you know exactly who the player is while you're watching the video. So let's take a look at that right now. Again, that is Paul Pierce. Number 5 is Kevin McHale. Number 4 is Bob Cousy. 6 NBA titles, one-time MVP, 13-time All-Star, and his number 14 is retired by the Celtics. Number 3, John Havlicek, 8 NBA titles. He was an MVP, 13-time All-Star, and his number 17 is retired by the Boston Celtics. He also averaged 20.8 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 4.8 assists in 15 seasons with the Celtics. Number 2, Larry Bird. Larry Bird was a 3-time NBA title champion. He was in 2 NBA Finals MVPs he won. He was a 3-time MVP. His number 33 is retired by the Celtics. He averaged 24.3 points, 10 rebounds, and 6.3 assists in 12 seasons with the Celtics. And finally, number 1, no surprise here, that is Bill Russell. 11 NBA titles, 5 MVPs, 12 All-Stars. Number 6 is retired by the Celtics. He averaged 15.1 points, 22.5 rebounds, and 4.3 assists in 12 seasons with the Celtics. So right there you have the video that shows you the top players that there were in Celtics history. You are more than welcome to take a look at the rest of the rankings on that video. It's something that is definitely worth giving a look to see exactly who some of the other players are that were missed. So again, we just ranked 6 through 1 right there. Before we wrap it up, I think it's very important, too, to talk about some of the current moments that have been going on in the Celtics season. I know some of you are probably very familiar with some of the players and on the team. So let's take a look right here at some of the top plays of the 2019 season. This has actually some of the top players on the team, so you may be familiar with some of them. Number 4 here on the list is Jaylen Brown. Number 3 on the list is Gordon Hayward. Number 2 on the list, and this might be up for agree or disagree moment, is Jason Tatum. And then finally, number 1 up on the list is Kemba Walker. And right there, whether you agree or disagree with it, we're going to give you the link right there to give yourself a chance to watch and maybe, again, agree or disagree with who you think might be the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. List can go on and right there. I personally would rank Jason Tatum number 1 on my list. I think this 2019-2020 season, we've seen a player that has completely shown that he is the building block in the future of this team. I think he's got a very bright future ahead, and the hope and the plan is that he can get the Celtics and everybody else on the team to a championship pretty soon. The final thing that I'm going to show with you is another clip right here that shows a little bit more skills and drills that you can do for basketball being at home. I want to show you one of them, and we're going to provide you the link as well so you can also do these from home. But this is a form shooting drill. Let's take a look at that.
Form shooting is an exercise practiced by beginners and professionals alike. It is a warm-up shooting drill that allows players to take their time and 1, slow down and focus on their form. 2, form shooting will help you get some blood flowing. And 3, players will see the ball going through the basket. Shooters will remain close to the basket. Remember to get into a slight sit position, focus on your target, and get into a lift position with the elbow and hand under the basketball. Explode and dip your fingers into the rim with your body and your follow-through arm fully extended. While form shooting is a slower warm-up drill, it will help players establish proper shooting habits and help them perfect their form.
And again, all those things right there are things that you can do from home. You might need a basketball hoop to do it, but if you don't have that hoop, gladly do some dribbling and some passing and anything else that you can do to stay in the game while you're not actually playing the game at the current moment. I hope that these videos are helping during this time that we're in to, number one, educate you, but to give you something to look forward to. We miss our programs as much as I'm sure the kids do right now, but this is our opportunity that we have to provide you with giving you something consistent every day, but also for me to give you an opportunity to learn more about sports and other topics each day. So I hope that everybody had a great time here watching some of the top moments, top players, and learning a little bit about basketball today on our episode of FaceTime. I want to thank you for watching. I want to also make sure that you continue to work on those skills and drills. We'll share with you that video that we showed earlier about all those different ways that you can improve your game just from being at home. You don't need a basketball hoop to do it. You can have small space in your house, downstairs in the basement, or even outside if the weather's nice. On tomorrow's episode, we will be talking about hockey. I'm very passionate about hockey. I know many of you enjoy it as well and play it. We'll talk about when it was founded, when it was invented and all that. We'll talk about when the NHL was found. We'll also talk about the Boston Bruins. Okay, we'll talk about their history a little bit there and all things from top players and moments from Bruins side of things too. I hope all of you are enjoying watching. I will see you next time here on another episode of FaceTime. And again, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.